Mark Twain, a famous writer, wrote an article once about the Jews. And he said, it's amazing that the Jews don't disappear. Much bigger nations used to exist, and then they disappeared and they're gone. They don't exist anymore. And the Jew is still here. He writes it beautifully and he describes it very, very, but he doesn't say why that's true. Why are bigger, stronger, richer nations gone and the Jews are still here? Of course, you can say it's a miracle. God protects us. But there's a simple explanation. When people have a life that they're willing to die for, then their existing has a purpose. But if you exist and you don't have a life, then your existence is much weaker and much more vulnerable. For example, in a concentration camp, there were people who continued to have a life. They went around and they helped others and they did tzedakah and they kept Shabbat and they survived. The people who just wanted to keep existing and looked for food, they didn't survive. You can't have existence without a life. The other nations that disappeared, all they wanted was to exist. So they built big cities to defend themselves. They became rich. They should have what to eat. And they disappeared. They wanted to exist, and they don't exist. But when we became a people, Moshe said to us, you're not going to have a good existence. You're going to be thrown out of the land. You're going to live in other people's countries. You're going to be a little minority in the world. Nobody's going to want you. You're not going to be comfortable no matter where you go. Your existence is not going to be so good. So don't worry about it. And you be busy with your life, with your purpose. If you're busy with your purpose, your existence will take care of itself. So isn't it strange that God would tell us that one day out of every 7, you shouldn't do anything productive? Why is that a good idea? The answer is very, very simple. All the labors that we're not allowed to do on Shabbos are constructive for our existence. If the food is cold, you warm it up. So what does that do? It gives you a life? No, it makes your existence a little more comfortable. If something is broken, you take a hammer and you fix it. So what does that do? It makes your existence a little better. God tells us that for 6 days out of the week, do whatever you need to do to make your existence comfortable. But one day out of the week, leave your existence alone. Stop worrying about your existence. Whatever you have, you have. What you don't have, you don't have. What's hot, let it stay hot. What's cold, let it stay cold. Leave your existence alone. One day out of the week, just focus on why you exist, not how to exist. And that's Shabbat. Shabbat means I don't need to do any of these labors because my existence is fine. Even in the time when we lived in the ghettos and our existence was not comfortable, when it came Shabbat, it was comfortable. Because I don't care. Whatever I have, I have. If I don't have, I don't have. That's not important. Shabbat is a time when we focus on why we exist and what we exist for, not how we exist. And that has kept us alive. Because when you're busy living, your existence takes care of itself. If you want desperately to exist, you're going to destroy yourself. So keeping Shabbat is a very healthy exercise and practice. Don't become a slave to your existence. Give your existence a life. Then you have a healthier existence.